Jake Paul is in brutal condition after taking a punch from Mike Tyson straight to the face. Yes, folks, just one punch and he's down for the count. Now, you might be wondering, wasn't the fight supposed to be on July 20th? His lesson early? Well, let me spill the tea here. At a press conference in Dallas, Jake just couldn't keep his mouth shut and said to Tyson, "I'll bury you next to your daughter." Oh yeah, he went there. And Jake thought he could walk away and have a nice dinner with his family? Absolutely hilarious. Well, we all knew Jake's pitiful condition was destined and written with a golden pen the moment he decided to mess with Mike Tyson. But now, lying in bed from just one punch has left Jake's confidence and pride face down on the floor. But before we get into how bad Jake's condition is right now, let's explore what made Tyson break the rules and shut Jake up so hard. The heated press conference at Madison Square Garden on May 20th, 2024 is one event the boxing world won't forget. It was supposed to promote the big fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, set for July 20th, 2024. But of course, things went off the rails. Right from the start, you could tell this wasn't going to be your usual trash-talking session. Jake Paul, always the provocateur, decided to crank it up to a whole new level. The tension was thick, and Jake's words were designed to cut deep. He started with this bold promise.
Promise to the people is on July 20th, Mike will be put to sleep and he will feel my power and I will go down as the man who put Tyson to sleep for the last time.
Not just trash talk, folks, it was like a mouse giving a death threat to a lion. The room was buzzing, but Jake didn't stop there. He went straight for Tyson's heart, making deeply personal and offensive remarks about Tyson's family and his late trainer, Cus D'Amato. Jake crossed the ultimate line when he said, "Cus D'Amato's legacy is overrated. He couldn't even protect his own. And look where you are now, Mike. Wasn't he supposed to make you invincible?" The room went silent and Tyson's face twisted with rage. Those words didn't just sting, they ripped open old wounds. The atmosphere was now supercharged. Jake continued to poke the bear, mocking Tyson's deceased child. This attack was beyond the pale and everyone could feel the shift. The air was electric, and everyone knew something big was about to go down. Because it wasn't some random taunt, instead he said, "Even your own blood couldn't survive your shadow, Mike. What kind of father does that make you?" And then it happened. Tyson's reaction was immediate and explosive. The anger and pain in his eyes were crystal clear. The room, packed with media and spectators, held its breath. So when I say Jake can't see with one eye or speak with his twisted jaw, you're probably wondering just how hard Tyson punched him. The situation was something self-explanatory, but let me vividly explain it to you. Tyson roared and lunged across the stage. His fists became a blur, smashing into Jake's face with all the anger and pain he could muster. The sound of Tyson's knuckles meeting Jake's face echoed around the room, followed by a collective gasp from the audience. Security rushed in immediately, but they were too late to stop the initial beatdown. It took several guards to pull Tyson away as he strained to get at Jake. The scene was pure chaos, shouting, camera flashes, and everyone scrambling to restore some order. After the dust settled, there was Jake Paul on the ground looking like he'd been run over by a truck. His once cocky smile was gone, replaced by shock and pain. Blood trickled from a cut above his eye, and his face started swelling up like a balloon. People in the room said it felt like a flashback to Tyson's brutal knockouts from back in the day. Even Max Kellerman, the famous boxing commentator, was stunned. Jake, once a promising fighter, now lies battered and broken, a victim of his own actions. I've never seen anything escalate this quickly at a press event. The boxing community was buzzing after this incident. Evander Holyfield, Tyson's old rival and current friend, chimed in, "Mike's temper is legendary, but this was a side of him I hoped was in the past. Jake Paul pushed him too far, and now we see the consequences." Jake's injuries were no joke. He had multiple facial fractures, a broken nose, and a shattered cheekbone. Doctors said he'd need surgery to fix the damage. His team put out a statement saying, "Jake is recovering, but the extent of his injuries means he will need time to heal. We are considering our options regarding the upcoming fight." The attack's severity had immediate fallout. Promoters and organizers started wondering if the July 20 fight could still happen. Tyson, though, wasn't feeling sorry. He just said, "Me crossed the line, this is what happens." The boxing world was left in a mess. What was supposed to be an exciting showdown turned into a real-life brawl with serious consequences. Jake Paul wanted to provoke Tyson, and boy, did he succeed. Just not in the way he hoped. And the aftermath left the boxing world in shock. Jake Paul, once a promising fighter, now lay battered and broken, a victim of his own reckless mouth. The press conference, intended to hype up the fight, turned into a battlefield. And what else could this Disney troublemaker do except grab his camera? I dislodged my shoulder lifting up a gym boulder in one of my spars. It hurts, man, and the doctor said I can't fight in this state. Yeah, because lifting boulders in a sparring session sounds totally believable. People had mixed reactions. Some fans felt sorry for Jake, thinking he was just a victim of Tyson's uncontrollable rage. Jake was out of line, but no one deserves to be beaten like that, tweeted one fan, capturing the feelings of those who thought Jake got more than he deserved. But a lot of the boxing community and fans were on Tyson's side. They thought Jake's big mouth earned him every punch he got. Jake Paul promptly retracted his statement, realizing the absurdity of challenging a legend like Tyson, said sports analyst Stephen A. Smith. Most people in this camp felt Jake had crossed a line and got exactly what was coming to him. Jake's public rants and videos only added fuel to the fire. His emotional outbursts, combined with the sketchy nature of his injury claims, made people even more divided. Videos of Jake breaking down, visibly upset and frustrated, spread like wildfire. He was seen saying, "I don't know how this got so out of hand. I just wanted to hype the fight, not end up in the hospital." This whole mess also showed how much pressure Jake was under. Despite his cocky public persona, facing a legend like Mike Tyson was clearly getting to him. His emotional breakdown showed a side of him no one had really seen before, making things even more complicated for the YouTube star turned boxer. As days went by, fans continued to argue on social media and sports news. Some defended Jake's actions as just part of hyping the fight, while others thought his tactics were reckless and disrespectful. This incident really highlighted the fine line between hype and hostility, and the real-life consequences of crossing that line in professional boxing. But do you really think Tyson was going to stay quiet while Jake Paul made up all those ridiculous accusations? No way. Tyson didn't waste a second calling Jake out on his fake injury claims. You see that stunt he pulled on y'all with the cast, hooks, and bandages? They all... And then, just to make things more interesting, people started spotting Jake Paul out and about, acting perfectly fine. Just days after the so-called incident, Jake was seen at a popular bowling alley in Los Angeles. Eyewitnesses said he was using the same hand he claimed was injured. He was spotted at a bowling game a few days ago using the same hand he displayed on the screen to you all for bowling, Tyson pointed out, highlighting the obvious inconsistency. The media jumped on these discrepancies like a dog on a bone, with headlines questioning the truth behind Jake's injuries. Tyson's relentless mission to expose Jake's supposed cowardice became the hot topic. "This kid crossed every limit. I was forced to do something," Tyson said, defending his actions and making it clear that Jake's antics were not just disrespectful, but also dangerous. Tyson's accusations gained more weight when Jake was seen out at a friend's party, engaging in activities that seemed pretty impossible if he were truly injured. These sightings made Tyson's claims even more believable and started to turn public opinion. The media, of course, couldn't get enough of this drama. Sports analysts and commentators picked apart every new piece of info, creating a storm of speculation and debate. Big names in the boxing world weighed in, mostly siding with Tyson. Former heavyweight champ Lennox Lewis said, "If Jake is really hurt, why is he out there? It just doesn't add up." But you won't believe what he did after listening to all these harsh remarks. His $300 million lawsuit against Mike Tyson has added a dramatic legal twist to their already intense rivalry. Filed on May 25, 2024 in the New York Supreme Court, Paul's lawsuit accuses Tyson of aggression and making life-threatening remarks. "Tyson went way overboard. He threatened my life," Paul cried in his legal filing, referring to Tyson's explosive reaction during the press conference. The legal battle from both sides has been intense and all over the news. Paul's legal team claims that Tyson's actions were not just physically harmful, but also amounted to criminal threats. They argue that the press conference left Paul with severe emotional distress and physical injuries, which they say have been verified by medical professionals. Tyson's defense, on the other hand, is calling out Paul's claims as exaggerated and ridiculous. "This whole thing is a joke. They think a lawsuit and a couple of scratches are going to scare me off," Tyson scoffed during an interview with ESPN on May 28, 2024. His lawyers argue that Paul's injuries are nowhere near as severe as he claims, and that his emotional distress is just an act to gain sympathy. The potential impact of this lawsuit on the fight's future and Tyson's legacy is huge. If Paul's claims hold up, Tyson could face severe financial penalties and legal restrictions, which could mess up his ability to compete. The fight set for July 20th, 2024, is now up in the air, with promoters and fans wondering if it will even happen. Public reaction to the lawsuit has been all over the place. Supporters of Jake Paul argue that he has the right to seek justice for what they see as an unprovoked and violent attack. "No one should be above the law, not even Mike Tyson," tweeted one fan, reflecting the sentiments of those who believe Tyson should be held accountable. On the flip side, many in the boxing community and Tyson's fans see the lawsuit as a ploy by Paul to avoid the fight and make some easy cash. "Jake is just trying to cash in. He knew what he was getting into," said former heavyweight champion George Foreman in an interview with Sports Illustrated on May 30th, 2024. This view is shared by many who think Paul's actions are manipulative and fake. As the legal proceedings continue, the boxing world is left in suspense. The outcome of the lawsuit will not only decide the future of the fight, but could also have lasting impacts on the reputations and careers of both Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Fans and pundits are watching closely, eager to see how this dramatic chapter in boxing history will play out.